Laid out on makeshift beds in the Al-Najjar Hospital in Rafah city, this footage provided to the Grayzone shows the faces and lacerated bodies of Palestinian men who had been kidnapped by the invading Israeli military in the besieged Gaza Strip. They had been taken from UN schools where they were sheltering, and their homes by Israeli soldiers, who hauled them in army trucks, bound, blindfolded, and shirtless, to an internment camp outside the Israeli city of Beersheba. There, they were subjected to a regimen of harsh interrogations, torture, and beatings. This December 25th, the captives were finally returned to the Gaza Strip in a daze, their bodies covered with the scars of the cruelty they endured. According to Euromed Human Rights Monitor, other captives will never make it back home, as they were beaten to death in Israeli captivity. The Israeli military has admitted that only 10% of the men they take captive in the Gaza Strip have any connection at all with Hamas. Yet the humiliating roundups and the brutal torture continues.
We had been staying at the house for 4 days. I would crawl around to hide from the IDF. I didn't want to be taken from the house. Suddenly, the IDF showed up to our apartment. They opened fire, I was hit, and so were my kids. Then they handcuffed us. And since then, I don't know where they took us. All I know is that they beat, blindfolded, humiliated, and tortured us. How many days were you kidnapped for? 20 days. How were the conditions during captivity? Bathroom, food, drink, and prayer time? A tragedy. A tragedy in all sense of the word. The handcuffs alone were a tragedy. We didn't know how to relieve ourselves with the handcuffs. I asked an IDF soldier to loosen my handcuffs so that I can relieve myself. They weren't loosened till today. How much did you walk when they released you? More than 2 kilometers. Tell me in short. I don't want to. There's too much to say. We walked over 2 kilometers to get to the crossing. Thankfully, an ambulance found us and took us to the hospital. God bless him.